Right guys, I thought I'd do a little video for you, bit of a comparison test really. If you're like me, or you're just getting into like the finesse side of the sport, not necessarily bait finesse but more the ultralight, but you like to use bait casters, there's quite a few options on the market from various brands. I mean, I'll always be a Shimano guy, so I like to stick to the Shimanos. There's probably 3 reels that are current right now as of like 2024. I've got a couple of them here, and there's probably one more to add, which would be the Aldebaran. I don't have the Aldebaran. I had the 16 Aldebaran a long time ago, loved it, really good reel. It's possibly something I may look to get in the future. Currently at the minute, I've been using a reel that not a lot of you will be overly like familiar with. It's brand new this year. It's a bit of a weird one. It got like, not flack online, but people were a little bit like, what is it? So let's start with that one. Conquest 31hg Shallow Edition. Now this is not to be confused with the BFS. This is just a shallow edition of a 31 size spool. So super shallow. Now, a mate of mine, Chris, he had a couple of these, has a couple of these, should I say. I was like, ooh, I gotta get me that. The color, that blued gunmetal, that's definitely a piece of me. Performance wise, fires lures out. I fished kind of like 5 to maybe 7, 10 max on my finesse gear. So not bait finesse at all. Although you technically are in that kind of the higher end of that range. I wouldn't say I was a bait finesse fisherman. I'm a finesse ultralight guy, and I like to use casting reels. So there you go, you've got really nice grips. This is a HG. Pair that up with sort of like 0.6 to 0.8p braids. It's got centrifugal brakes with a dial, and then you've got the 6 bars inside to adjust it. So that would be the one that maybe not too many of you familiar with. So there's that one. Then the one that a lot of you will be familiar with if you're in this sort of range. This is the Conquest VFS. This is the brand new one, or last year's. This is the current one, 2023. This is the XG model. Now I haven't actually fished this yet, I've just spooled it up, but I'm familiar with the range. Like I say, I'm not bait finesse fishing with them, but what I like about this is I was recently fishing on the river in a really blustery day. I was fishing that shallow edition. I was fishing 3-gram surface cicadas with a real big side wind, and I thought that was kind of pushing that reel to about the limits where I didn't want to fanny ass around with it. Yes, I could have adjusted the brakes way more and the dials, absolutely, but I don't want to go out there and be spending every 5 seconds of the day adjusting. I just want to go out there, set them up to kind of my preferences to the lures, make the micro adjustments and fish. And I found that like the shallow edition, that 3-gram, and it's like it's not a air resistant. It is a very air resistant lure. There's no aerodynamics to a cicada lure, wings hanging out, and I found that 3 grams was about the minimum it would go. Whereas when I want to fish lures that are like below that, I mean, this will chuck 1 gram with a bit of finagling. You can really tune these in. It's a stunning bit of kit. So same body. So obviously it's got the FBS spool. So this is magnets, not centrifugal brakes. It does have more of a finesse handle. It's slightly shorter handle, and the grips are a lot more, as you can see here, they're a lot more finessey on the bait finesse model. They're more chunkier grips on the shallow edition. Yeah, very nice. First impressions on this, I fished the shallow edition a fair bit, but this is well, it says it is what it is, and it's a bait finesse high-end Shimano, so it's an absolute machine out of the box. And I'm looking forward to using this with a much lighter stuff. It'll cast everything up with a bit of tuning that the shallow edition did, but what this will enable me to do is drop the lures right down, which is something I like to do a little bit of. So I thought, there you go, I'd compare the two. So shallow edition, 31hg, bait finesse, the current called Cutter Conquest Bait Finesse. Two lovely reels, love the colour. They're very different, gunmetal blue and that kind of like dark, almost nickel from the Conquest. Stunning reels, can't wait to use this more. This is an absolute joy to use. There you go, if you're on the market for high-end reels, these are two to look at. If you're not necessarily bait finessing, but you like the finesse ultralight side of it and you want to fish casting reels, look no further. Anyway, that's enough from me. I just thought I'd do a bit of a comparison of the two. Pretty much identical. Anyway, cheers. Bye.